Hello, I'm Anna. Today, I will let you know about the use of coding school programs and the connection of CodeWiz. From this video clip, you will learn about coding school composition, use the sensor of coding school through the example. Also, you will upload the coding school sensor to CodeWiz to execute the desired behavior. First of all, let's learn about what configuration of Coding School 3 program. Coding School 3 is a block-based program based on Scratch 3. In addition to the command blocks provided by Scratch 3, it also provides a variety of command blocks for easy programming of basic and external sensors built into the CodeWiz board. Coding School program consists of a block area, a coding area where blocks are assembled, and an area where blocks are executed. The website link button links to the Codable website. Many bar uses coding schools such as board connections and example recall and allows you to select the required functions. Coding area is a workspace for dragging, combining, and linking blocks of code to create code. Run and Stop button is a button to execute or stop the written code. Code block palette is a palette that categorizes code blocks at a glance. The Add Block button can add an extended block of code unique to the coding schools. Code block is a unit that gives the commands to coding schools and can be combined to create programs. Sprite is a unit image that can be moved by a block of code. The execute box is an area where you can see the actual code running and working. Sprite information is an area where you can check the name, size, and coordinates of the sprite. Stage information is an area where you can check information of stage. Next, let's learn about what command blocks of Coding School program. The basic blocks of coding schools are categorized by category. They are classified into 9 in total. Connecting the coding school with the CodeWiz creates an additional CodeWiz palette underneath the existing palettes. Connecting to the shape of the block allows you to create programs without syntax errors. A head block is a block that starts all scripts. Blocks can only be placed below. Stack blocks are blocks that perform basic commands. There are grooves at the top and bumps at the bottom, so you can connect blocks at the top and bottom. Boolean block is a block that determines the true and false statements and delivers them. The value delivered is either true or false. A reporter block is a block that delivers the result of sentence. Forwarding values can contain numbers and characters. C block repeats the block that enters the center or examines the condition. Both the top and bottom can connect blocks. Multiple blocks connected are called scripts. A cap block is a block that terminates a script and cannot be attached below. Now let's try to use sensors by using various blocks in Coding School 3 program. The first one is the mic sensor. The mic sensor in CodeWiz receives a value from 0 to 1023. Use the repeat statement to continue outputting. Please be quiet if the sound detected by the mic sensor in CodeWiz is greater than 100. The second one is a button sensor. This sensor in CodeWiz detects the button is pressed and output values of 0 and 1. The button code block contains a value of 1, truth, when the button sensor is pressed, and 0, false, when the button sensor is not pressed. When the left button of CodeWiz is pressed, it outputs the sound of tom drum, and when the right button is pressed, it outputs the sound of snare drum. Let's see how it actually works. The third one is the light sensor, which accepts values from 0 to 1023. The darker it is, the greater the value. If the right sensor values is greater than 200, dark, turn on all NeoPixels in the CodeWiz to red. If the right sensor value is less than 200, turn off all NeoPixels in the CodeWiz. Let's see how it actually works. When it gets dark, you can see that all NeoPixels appear in red. The distance sensor tells you the distance from the object in millimeter. Mark danger if the distance from the object is less than 100 millimeter, or safe if not. The 3-axis sensor detects the slope and receives the values of the x, y, and z axis from -90 to 90. Adjust the treble position to the slope of the x-axis and y-axis, and resize the sprite to the z-axis. The buzzer sensor outputs various notes of different heights. You can output the desired sound starting with C as follows. Let's see how it actually works. Next is touch sensor. Play C, D, E, and F from the top right of the front of the board, and Z and A from the top left. Please check the full code. The pin number of the touch sensor is shown on the back of the board. CodeWiz can print various colors with 5 neopixels. You can also adjust the brightness or use the RGB value. Let's see how it actually works. Hall sensors measure the polarity and strength of the magnets. Let's initialize the value of the sensor to 0 and then find out the value of the Hall sensor using the repetition statement. Please check the change in the Hall sensor value variable. OLED can easily show text, shapes, and images, etc. using code blocks in Coding School. Outputs text to the OLED and moves the printed text from left to right. Output rectangles, circles, and triangles. Let's see how it actually works. Use only the code blocks provided by the Coding School to connect to the NTP server and specify time zone to output date and time data from your region. When the Bluetooth value comes in, it accepts the number entered by the smartphone, determines it, and rings the buzzer. Control CodeWiz using smartphone application. Now, let's upload and execute the code. First, please check the full code. Next, on the Edit menu of the Coding School menu bar, click Turn on Sketch Mode. Please check that the Turn on Sketch Mode button changes to the Turn off Sketch Mode button. Turn on Sketch Mode and press the Upload button in the upper right corner with the CodeWiz connected to your computer. The upload will complete if you wait with the message that the code is being uploaded. Code upload may take some time. When the message appears that the upload is complete, press the OK button. The Upload Complete message is displayed on the yellow screen where the Sprite information window was located. Connect the CodeWiz to the battery without connecting it to the computer to provide power. Try executing the code you wrote in CodeWiz. Before we finish, I'd like to give you guys some pop quiz. Thank you for taking this lesson so far. I hope it helped you understand how to use CodeWiz and Coding School 3 program.